Hey there, Wondering Watchers. Welcome to this pick a card reading that reveals all the juicy details about what your crush thinks of you, as well as what they think about the possibility of you two getting together. Now, before you continue watching, be sure that you actually want to know how your crush feels about you and what your crush says about you when you're not around, because it could possibly make you cry tears of joy, or it could just make you cry. One more disclaimer. Keep in mind that you have agency over your life. You make decisions about how to live it. These cards only provide perspective, and your choices, your actions actually lead to the ultimate truth of your situation. So if you are new to pick a card readings, then I'll review the process right here for those of you ready to get the 411 on your crush right now. The link is in the description box below to each reading. I have in front of me 4 decks of cards. In pile number 1, we have Tarot Disassembled. This is a deck that is really about, it's focused on the symbols, the key symbols that are in each card. In pile number 2, we have Mystic Mondays. This deck is more about colors and color vibrations. In pile number 3, we have 78 Tarot Animal, Tarot of the Wild, and this is a completely animal-focused deck. In pile number 4, Cosmobeings Tarot deck. This deck celebrates aspects of the light and the dark, and the otherworldly. So pick the pile of cards you feel drawn to the most. If you are hoping to hear a specific message you don't get in a reading for a particular pile, then just feel free to pick another pile. If you don't get the messages you're hoping for in any of the piles, then it could be that it's not for your best and highest good to hear that particular message at this time. So feel free to pause the video if you need time to review your deck choices, or to meditate on the cards, or to meditate on your crush. But once you've made your decision, go to the description box and click on the link for the corresponding pile. So now it is time to tap into the cards, choose your crush's truth-revealing tarot adventure, and let's make magic happen. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 1, those who pick Tarot Disassembled to reveal the thoughts that your crush has about you that are swirling around in their minds. I'm starting with an energy check-in regarding your crush to get a sense of their overall vibe, their personality, and their current outlook on life. This can help you determine whether this pile is sufficient for a reading on your crush, or if you need an additional pile to get more information, or if you should pick a different pile altogether. But just follow your intuition wherever it takes you. So in terms of your crush's energy or vibe, you have abundance. So your crush, they have a really, positive outlook on where they're going to be in life, how they're going to get there, a sense of everyone can kind of come along, there's room for everyone, there's enough food for everyone, come to my place and everyone can hang out. We can all share like a burrito and everyone will have the best time ever. So that's the kind of vibe I'm sensing about this person. In terms of their personality, you have this rest card. So they might really be the type of person that needs their sleep, or they are kind of cranky. That's not how they are, um, when generally, but there's someone who they can wake up on the wrong side of the bed, but for the most part, they know that it's just like a phase, something that they can snap out of if they have their, I don't know, morning tea or morning Coca-Cola, who knows. So in terms of their outlook on life, they're a happy person. They are really positive. That's kind of just a positive, I wouldn't say necessarily a bubbly person, but especially when they wake up cranky, but someone who is in general upbeat. You probably, you might not even know that they wake up cranky. You might not even see that side of them. And, this Ten of Pentacles just wanted to kind of pop out just as a reminder of, this overall energy of abundance for your crush, sense of emotional stability and happiness. It's kind of the energy I'm getting from your crush. So in terms of what does your crush think about you? That's the reason why you're here, group number one. So overall, what does your crush think about you? Knight of Cups. So they think that you are someone who is dreamy, romantic. They think that you wear your heart on your sleeve, possibly, a bit creative and a bit intuitive. So in terms of your personality, let's see what they think. The Magician. So they pretty much think you're someone who really gets along well with everyone, in the sense of you having your stuff together, kind of like you can make things happen. You have like a knack and a flow where you kind of make people feel at ease. It could be your Knight of Cupness, that aspect of really, friendly, someone who is confident, someone who doesn't necessarily let other people bowl you over. Is that the right phrase? Kind of like you're your own person. You don't really feel the need to kind of be a follower. In terms of your looks, you've got the Star. So they think that your looks kind of are just this beacon, this light that just draws attention. They think that you could be famous for your looks, an Instagram model or somebody who should be up on stage. In terms of their sexual attraction to you, you have the Three of Pentacles. So here it's something that they may have kind of had these initial positive feelings about you, and it may be that other people talking about you has created this kind of like a layering. It's making me think of a cake, like a 3-layer cake of, something that is shared amongst others, but as you kind of see what goes into the cake and all the frosting, the different layers, and all the people who are just salivating over this cake, you kind of just want it for yourself. So in terms of relationship potential, group number 1, let's see what your crush thinks. Queen of Cups. So they really think that they could be emotionally connected to you. And with your Knight of Cups energy, it would be like a romantic relationship with their, sense of positivity and happiness, that you would treat each other really, really well. So let's see what does your crush tell other people about you or your connection together? Judgment. So to some degree, it's something that they are happy just to announce that, they know you, that you guys are friends or in the same, on the same team or in the same class or work under the same boss. Something where they pretty much are, they're making that announcement. They're fine with that announcement. However, they might not make it if they feel that someone is going to either judge them negatively or make it so that it's like going to be difficult for them, because I already mentioned that they think you're someone who is very attractive, very confident, just pretty much the cat's meow, to bring back an old phrase. So it may be that they don't want to disclose too much depending on who they are talking to. Maybe they want to avoid a situation of, oh, who's that? I need to check that person out. So let's take a look at whether there is someone or something else that is currently catching your crush's attention. There is the Two of Pentacles, and I'm going to pull one more card because that could indicate a lot of priorities. It could indicate, trying to juggle emotions. And then there's the Empress. So there may be another, potential person that they are interested in. And it seems like they're kind of, they like both of you. They are this person who's happy, all about abundance. So is the Empress. But the Magician's pretty, badass themselves as well. So that might kind of be like, depending on who they talk to, what it is they're going to disclose about you or their connection to you. So let's take a look at how much your crush is willing to prioritize a romantic relationship right now. Are these cards stuck together, or is this one? We've got the Five of Swords here. So in terms of whatever the Two of Pentacles is, it might not even just be that they are focused on you as the Magician and someone else as the Empress. It might be that they have things going on. To some degree, group number 1, this Empress could be their mother. Their they got this sense of feeling like abundance and feeling positivity from somewhere. So it could be that something's going on with their mother. I should say that, especially if you've got the Five of Swords here, because the Five of Swords is a sense of kind of like a negative thinking pattern, but nothing else in these cards indicate that this person thinks in a negative way. Perhaps, perhaps they have a parent figure, like a father figure, that's not in the picture anymore. and so they have to, you know, help out at home, and they have a great relationship with their mom. But in terms of romantic relationships and making that a priority, and it might not be something that they've had a positive experience with growing up. So I'm going to pull one more card for that Five of Swords there and kind of see what kind of clarification. You got the Page of Pentacles, and that is a card of a student, someone who's learning the value of some things. So in terms of learning the value of relationships and where they can go, and you know, with the Five of Swords, it's a sense of perhaps, you know, maybe custody battles or just, you know, divorce, something along those lines. So, you know, maybe they need to do a little bit more learning and growing before they want to make that a romantic relationship a priority. So let's see what your crush would think if you told them their true feelings. You have the Fool. So here it's a sense of they'd feel giddy, they'd be super flattered, they feel like really, you know, they could do anything, go anywhere, and they would also feel a little bit silly, and slightly embarrassed, um, because it reminds me of, you know, those old school like little kid crushes where they get like a little Valentine's Day card and they're embarrassed and they blush and they start crying because they don't know what to do with their emotions. That's kind of like they feel a little bit kind of like childlike. So here, let's see what possibility is there for romance between the two of you to blossom in the next 1 to 3 months. 1 to 3, not 1, 2, 3, but 1 to 3 months. You've got the Nine of Wands. So here you can see there's like a little band-aid there. And what's interesting is these cards that have a little stage symbol. So this has got a little stage symbol, happens on a stage. Here, the Five of Swords has a stage symbol. I'm not sure if it actually does happen on a stage. Two of Pentacles, I know this scene is on a stage. With the stage symbol, it's a sense of, it's a question of whether or not these are actually going on, or that's how they think it would play out, or that's the way that someone acts in that certain situation. So here you can see, in terms of romance blossoming between the two of you, the Nine of Wands, it's a card of protection, of being prepared, not really ready for what's going to happen, but if it happens, they're going to, you know, do their best. But there's also this big old band-aid over there. So here with the Five of Swords, if this is something that they saw play out between their parents or any type of people who have relationships that they kind of learn from, they saw a scene play out of people bullying each other or fighting or you know, game playing each other, then it makes sense that in terms of, you know, romance blossoming between the two of you or maybe anyone else in the next 3 months is not really likely. They're still dealing with this this situation here. And with the Two of Pentacles, in terms of something else or someone else catching their attention, it could be, you know, trying to figure out what's going on. If this is a parent, it's kind of feeling that way, especially when you've got the Page of Pentacles here and the Fool. It seems like kind of parent-child vibes going on there. And here, let's take a look at how would your crush feel if they thought that you actually like someone else instead. You have the Three of Cups. So they would feel like happy for you. They would, celebrate that for you because they're just a generally happy person and, kind of want to be positive about, you know, things, and especially for you because they seem to think highly of you. So they would kind of, celebrate that with you. So group number one, let's take a look at how this crush is affecting you. Let's take a look at how it's affecting you emotionally. You have this card of regret. So you might feel regret about interactions that you have. Maybe you reflect on certain interactions that you had and think, oh, I should have said this or I shouldn't have said that. Or maybe you look at missed opportunities for certain interactions and think, oh, I should have said something. I should have gone up, I should have taken that opportunity. So here in terms of how it's affecting you mentally, you have memories. So you might be checking out your crush and taking mental photographs of them. And it's almost like kind of the photographs of them, or maybe even your interactions together. It's kind of like the concept of daydreaming, but with even more accuracy, because you do have the Knight of Cups and the Magician energy here. So you could be very, very, very creative and very have vivid recall. And in terms of how it's affecting you physically, you have this open up card here. So it might be that you might need to do something with these emotions, these energies, and really like release. It might not feel like tension, but kind of release something. Um, so maybe watch a movie that gives you a good cry, or even go for a walk, breathing exercises, something to kind of, um, it makes me feel like a release, but an expanding, like expanding your lungs, um, and a need to kind of let things like really breathe in your body, however you can, get your body to breathe. And so, group number one, we're going to close off this reading here with a couple of oracle cards to get advice from your guides and guardians about what to be mindful of. You have Porcupine Spirit, time for beginner mind. It is definitely like this full energy, this sense of really enjoy it. Look at it with a sense of wonder, like a giddiness, like having no expectations and just looking at it with an open heart, open mind, and excitement at wherever things can go. And then we have Mouse Spirit, tend to the small things. So here, things that you do have, that you do know and are certain of in your day-to-day life, just to kind of be grateful for them, and definitely tap into that that mindset of abundance, of like attracting abundance into your life, and kind of mirroring these emotions of happiness and abundance that your crush has. So I'm hoping this provides a helpful perspective of the thoughts that your crush has about you, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number two, those who pick Mystic Mondays to reveal the thoughts that your crush has about you, which are swirling around in their mind. So I am starting with an energy check-in regarding your crush to get a sense of their overall vibe, personality, and the current outlook on life so that you can determine whether this pile is the right reading on your crush or if you need an additional pile of information or if you need a different deck altogether. So just trust your intuition to lead you to the right reading. So here in terms of the vibe or the energy of your crush, you have this energy card. So they have a lot of energy. They have a lot of passion and drive. Perhaps there's someone who is, an athlete or likes to work out, likes to get their adrenaline pumping. So in terms of their personality, this rest card here. So they might, this is the second time I've got this card in this position, and I get a sense of someone who really needs their rest. They really have a certain routine. Maybe they're cranky in the morning if they, wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or they need to, get their morning coffee. They need a certain type of pattern. And for your crush here, group number 2, maybe it's because they are very energetic. They pretty much use up a lot of their energy during the day. So let's take a look at, did I call you group number 1? I meant group number 2. Their outlook on life, reflection. So right now they are really taking a look inside to see what's for their best and highest good, what resonates, what doesn't resonate, and trying to pursue a path of that saying of like treat others the way you want to be treated, and kind of like whether or not their actions reflect who they really are. That's something that they want to kind of investigate right now. So group number 2, let's take a look at what your crush thinks of you. Let's get an overall read of what your crush thinks. 5 of Pentacles. So here it may be that they see you as like someone outside of their group, an outcast, someone who might be not feeling comfortable in their own skin. So let's see what they think of your personality, group number 2. 3 of Cups. They see that you are someone who is sociable, someone who is, has some friends who can communicate and kind of be in the social setting. But in terms of this overall, what they think about you, it could be that they're just not seeing that you feel that you fit in, or that you don't, that you kind of put other people on a higher level than you sometimes. So let's take a look at what they think about your looks. You have the 2 of Swords. So here they might not have made a decision about, the way that you look, kind of neither here nor there. It's not like they think that you are average or below average. It's almost like they haven't really thought of it. And so let's take a look about their sexual attraction for you. You have the Chariot here. So group number 2, what I'm kind of sensing is that your crush has got a lot of energy. I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's not like physical attraction is necessarily important for them at certain points. It could be that they have such a sexual drive right now that they are kind of, they'd be kind of go for a lot that might surprise you. Not saying that going for you would be a surprise, but they've got a lot of maybe focus. Even though it could be because they're trying to like, they're looking at what they do and how it reflects on them, because their drive is pulling them into directions that, maybe they're not great for someone's reputation. So let's take a look at what they think of the relationship potential for the two of you. There's the High Priestess. I think they kind of secretly they'd want to have like a secret relationship with you. If there was a relationship, they'd want it to hide it. They'd want to keep it something that they want to figure out, because they're still in that process of reflecting and figuring out how their actions really reflect aspects of themselves. So whether it would work out or not is not something they've thought about. It's just that they wouldn't necessarily want to tell other people. So let's see what your crush does tell other people about you or your connection. Temperance. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, we know each other, we hang out, they're fine. Kind of trying to have the appearance of not really caring, not really putting much weight on it, not really investing much in it, kind of like a go with the flow type of thing. They kind of, not that they're withdrawn, but they might acknowledge that they know you or they're aware of you, but that's about it. So let's take a look if your crush has someone else or something else currently catching their attention. There is the Princess of Swords or Page of Swords. I'm going to pull one more card. And the Three of Swords. So here it could be that there is, someone who challenged them intellectually, someone who they felt they kind of maybe embarked on life together in a certain way. Like, it makes me think of whoever they felt was on their level and having a new experience together. So let's say if they both, ran, ran track in the track team and like joined that team together. It's someone that they might have fallen for, and they might not have been able to deal with that loss quite yet. So let's and that might be why they're not really making a decision about you in terms of their attraction to you. So group number 2, let's see overall how much your crush is willing to like invest in a romantic relationship right now. The 6 of Pentacles. So it's something that they could invest in. It's not necessarily a huge priority, but it's kind of like they have the time if they have the time, if they have the energy, then sure, why not? So let's take a look at what your crush would think if you told them your true feelings. Group number 2, you have the 4 of Cups. So if you told them your true feelings, they really wouldn't notice or care one way or the other. And it could be that because they're still kind of butthurt about this 3 of Swords situation, and really reflecting on themselves. They're really reflecting inwards right now. So whatever you're offering, or at least in this moment in time, they don't really necessarily care about. So in terms of a romantic relationship, investing in that, it seems like it has to do with more like their whatever their sexual desire. Yeah, sure, I'll go for that. If I have time, if I have energy, I'll go for that. But in terms of like a commitment type of thing, that's not in the cards so far. So let's take a look at what possibility is there for romance between the two of you in the next like 3 months. You have the King of Swords. So this is someone who's kind of like rigid and action oriented, thinks about things, sets rules. It's almost as if they're going to pursue something, they need to be the one to make that choice. They need to be the one to take that action. And it seems like they are not really at the King of Swords point. They're more towards the 3 of Swords. So there's a lot of moving through. But who knows, maybe in terms of the reflection that they're going through right now, maybe in the next 3 months they're going to want to snap out of it. So I'm going to actually pull another card to check out this King of Swords here. 4 of Swords. So yeah, it's sense of they need to be in that position, but they're barely dealing with the 3 of Swords. Maybe they need to withdraw a little bit more from things to reflect in order to get to the King of Swords. It doesn't seem likely within the next 3 months. So let's take a look at how your crush would feel if they thought you liked someone else instead. Yeah, Knight of Wands. So they would feel thrilled for you. They would see it as a great adventure for you to have. So it doesn't seem like they would be upset about that at all. So here, let's take a look, group number 2, at how is this crush affecting you? Let's take a look at how it's been affecting you emotionally. You have communication. So perhaps you've been able to talk about your crush and express yourself in a way that is not typical of other things in your life. Like if someone asks you how is your day to day? It's fine, whatever. But if they talk about your crush, you want to talk about it or you want to hear about it. And perhaps this is more internal conversations, but it's really getting you to kind of speak your mind, speak your opinions, and be honest about something. Be honest about your feelings, even if it's to yourself. So let's see how this affects you mentally. Soul connection. So perhaps you think you and your crush are soulmates. Maybe you've been really thinking about uh, concepts that are greater than yourself and how you connect to those things and how people connect in general, like soulmates connect generally, and kind of it's having you think about well, love, but also things that are more mystical, thinking about karma, things like that. So let's see how this crush is affecting you physically. Have fun. So it's almost a sense with your crush being more of an active, energetic person. It could be that you want to be seen in that same light. So you are, possibly doing more things, going further outside of your comfort zone, and actually having fun or learning about things that you like and don't like, and finding yourself enjoying what you're doing. So group number 2, let's see. I'm going to close off with a couple cards to get advice from your guides and guardians. You have Chameleon Spirit, act as if. So here, your guides and guardians want you to act as if you have exactly what you want. That doesn't mean to just walk up to your crush in public and start making out with them as if they're, your significant other. It's act as if you already have that soul connection you're looking for, even if it's between you and your higher self. It's that concept of dress for the job you want, not for the job you have. So here, if your crush overall sees you or thinks of you as this 5 of Pentacles, someone who hasn't really found their place or is still looking for their place, if you figured out what your place is and you're not wanting to act like that's yours because you feel you don't deserve it, then here it's a sense of you do deserve it. You need to believe you deserve it and act as if you do deserve it. And if you don't believe it, act as if you do, and then you'll start believing it. And I'll pull one more card. You have Seahorse Spirit, watch and wait. So here, act as if and watch and wait, those two together, it's kind of a sense of going with the flow. So keep being positive, acting as if you have what you want, keep having fun, go with the flow, and there might be something that in your fun seeking will draw the attention of someone who wants to have fun, possibly like this Knight of Wands here. So it could be, to some degree, that concept of if your crush thinks you actually like someone else, it might spark their attention to you, like, kind of make them curious about what's going on in that pot that I might want to check. I might want to, stick my wand in there and see what's in that pot. So I'm hoping that this provides a helpful perspective of what your crush thinks about you, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 3, those who pick 78 tarot animal to reveal the thoughts that your crush has about you that may be dancing around in their head. So I'm going to start with an energy check-in on your crush to get a sense of their overall vibe, their personality, their current outlook on life, and this can help you determine whether this pile is the right one for your reading, or if you need to pick an additional pile to get a sense of their energy, more well-rounded sense of their energy, or if you should pick a different pile altogether. So trust that your intuition will lead you to the right place. So in terms of your crush's vibe or their energy, we have rest here. So this is actually the third time that rest has popped up for some aspect of the crush. Because here it's in the position of their energy or their vibe, they could be someone who is very soft spoken, someone who kind of isn't trying to be the center of attention, isn't trying to lead the group in things. So here with their personality, you have anxiety. So it could be that they have some issues with anxiety. That is why they don't want to be center of attention. They might have, anxious energy that they kind of display or get rid of in ways that don't involve communicating with other people or in front of other people. So let's see what their current outlook in life is. You have this mystery card. So here they are trying to figure things out a bit. They are, trying to get a sense of a connection to something. That could be a person, it could be something that is triggering their anxiety, something that is maybe an intellectual aspect. And it's not as if they have no direction in life, it's as if they are. It's almost as if they feel out of place with people around them. So they're kind of on a different level. Like, I'm not sure if they feel like they are not a superior being, but that they are connecting to something on a different level than a human level. And perhaps that's why you picked this deck of 78 tarot animal. Maybe they connect more with spirit and energy of animals, or are more comfortable with animals in general. But it's as if the people around them, they don't really necessarily gel with, and they are wondering if it's because maybe they think that they're an old soul and they don't fit in with the group around them, or that they think that the people are kind of talking about things that are not really major issues. Like, there's bigger things in the world to be concerned about or to talk about, and it's as if they're on a different like vibrational level, and it's not necessarily a higher one. Sometimes it's like a lower one, depending on their anxiety. But it seems like they might have some issues with their, I want to say, like their chemistry, their hormones, their brain chemistry. where it's not necessarily like bipolar, but it's a sense of really going deep within and contemplation. And so it might be that they're not comfortable with certain people. Doesn't mean they'll be uncomfortable with everybody. So let's see. That's enough about your crush. Let's get into what your crush thinks about you. Let's start with overall. 9 of Cups. So overall, your crush thinks that you are a really good person, happy. They, they like you. They think that you are kind of like a confident person. You're maybe they're more comfortable being around you than the typical person. In terms of your personality, they think you are the devil. Don't freak out. Um, what I mean by that is that you have the ability to really, if you wanted to, get people to bend to your will, kind of to ensnare people. To some degree, they might see you as like an irresistible temptation. And on another level, maybe they think that you, because they have this view of certain, like there's bigger things in the world. So if you're talking about, the latest movies that are out, songs that are out, if you're with a bunch of people talking about celebrities or, celebrity gossip, and they're thinking, well, there's like war going on in the world. There's like a really deep thinker. And so if they see you as someone that partakes in that, they could see you as, you know, a leader of that, kind of like the person that really can get people to get together and start talking about things that with the power you have, it's as if they think you could be talking about things that are more impactful. But the power that you do have, it's as if they think you are not using it to the best way that they would want you to. So in terms of your look, group number 3, 2 of Cups. So they like how you look. They think that you are someone that they or anyone else would really want to cuddle up to that face and do some smooching, things like that. So let's see about your crushes, what they think about sexual attraction to you. You know, this judgment card. So group number 3, again, I feel like here you have these, I think these are dragonflies. I think they're dragonflies. And here with this judgment card, the concept here is like, here's this old dragonfly coming back to the swamp and getting these, or is it, yeah, dragonflies, and getting these like little nymph dragonflies, calling them up and saying, okay, now are you willing to take this challenge, type of thing. So in terms of their sexual attraction to you, because they think they're on such like a different spiritual level, like that concept of an old soul. It's almost like they would judge themselves if they admitted a sexual attraction to you. A sense of if they think you have this, you're like the leader of the, I don't want to say superficial because it's not necessarily that you are. It's them kind of on this like deep, it's like I feel like hermit vibes for them. They're on this like this deep journey of like figuring out who they are and where they like what they're meant to do. Like they're on this like big life purpose journey and they don't see you. They like you're that instant gratification. You're that um, doing things out of, lustful purposes, not divine purposes. So here, if they admit their sexual attraction to you, it's as if they would judge themselves. So in terms of your crush, in terms of what they think about relationship potential with you, group number 3, Ten of Swords. They pretty much think that they would be hitting rock bottom if they got into a relationship with you. But it could be because they didn't want to sell their soul to the devil. This is their perspective, not necessarily saying that's, anything what you are. So let's see what your crush tells other people about you or about your connection. The Tower. So here, what they tell other people is, they don't want to seem like they are not on this spiritual journey. It's something like, oh, we happen to know each other because of these extreme circumstances, or yeah, we hang out now and then, or we talk, or I know this person, but it just like divine intervention came along and it was like a shock to them. Like they couldn't really believe it themselves. But I'm going to pull one more card because I think it's really interesting that you have overall they think fondly of you, but it's almost as if they'd be admitting some kind of lustful lower being feelings or emotions or life if they kind of admitted certain things. So I'm going to pull one more card to see about like what they tell other people about you guys. You have the Queen of Swords. So here, I get the sense that your crush is, if they do talk about you, they are discussing you, it's for the purposes of some intellectual, spiritual assessment or comparison, a sense of kind of how you might fit into how they see their personal truth and see the world and see um, kind of like perhaps how if you were able to break out of this devil energy, that if you could find your higher life purpose, that you would be someone that they could talk to freely on an intellectual level. So that's the sense I get of how they kind of portray you to others. So let's see if there's someone or something else currently catching your crush's attention besides their it's almost like I'm making it seem like they are spiritually superior or spiritually more aware, or they think they are. That's the kind of sense I get. So 3 of Cups. So here, what's catching your attention is how other people interact. So they're really it's almost as if this is a story they tell themselves about not really being on a certain level with people, because and kind of like looking at how people interact as an outsider, but kind of really wishing they fit in. So here, them kind of, it could be because of their anxiety that they create this, they're a reason why they don't necessarily fit in with the group. That's, and it might be because of their anxiety, but they tell themselves the story of a more like, aligned spiritual life purposes, kind of, um, you know, doing things that are more intentional versus superficial, things like that. I'm going to pull another card here. Four of Pentacles. So they're focusing on trying to find stability for themselves. So I do think that it is more of they're trying to feel secure, and this, again, this is the story that they spin in order to feel more secure. And if there is kind of a fear or an anxiety when it comes to making social connections, relationship, personal connections, then this story kind of makes it not on them. It's not because of them, but really they just want to feel safe and secure. So here, group number 3, let's see. How much overall is your crush willing to like actually even invest in a romantic relationship? Have the Strength card. So they really need to kind of step into their courage. They need to embrace who they are. They need to embrace their the parts that they hide, the parts that they, are proud of, kind of accept all aspects of it, and be more gentle with themselves and more courageous. And then they might be able to like invest in a romantic relationship. But right now they're trying to find, they're trying to feel secure. So they have to go from secure to courageous, and with a sense of anxiety going on. It's a big ask for them to do. So group number 3, let's take a look at what would your crush think if you told them your true feelings for them. 3 of Pentacles. So here, they would think that it's something not to do with them, maybe to do with like, not that you don't, yeah, like it's not them that you like, it's some aspect about them, maybe the people they hang out with, maybe the cool life purpose or intentional living that they adhere to. But they would think it's not necessarily them themselves, that it's some offshoot of them that is what you like instead. So let's see what possibility is there for romance to bloom between you two in the next 3 months. You have 7 of Cups here. So here is a sense of, dreaming, illusions, kind of, it's not impossible, but it's really not likely that your crush is going to feel secure, have a sense of courage, and be able to, you know, to discern what is important, what thoughts that they have about you or about, you know, how people socialize or what they should be talking about or the way that they're living their life, what's really important to kind of get to that point where they can be in a relationship. So here, let's take a look at how your crush would feel if they thought you liked someone else. You have the Death card. So your crush would feel a sense of a loss. They would probably have a difficult time with it, but they would also, it might make it so that there's some aspect of themselves that they think needs to be the one that changes. Like, oh, maybe it's not them, it's me. You know, maybe they're not the person that's a superficial, you know, not thinking about all the other people in the world type of thing. Maybe it's me that that has to change or is missing out on these connections with people. So let's take a look here at group number 3. Let's look at how this crush is affecting you in terms of how it's affecting you emotionally. You have this card of security. So perhaps, you know, because you are someone that is confident, because you are someone that can really draw a lot of attention and is, you know, desirable, that your crush not really, you know, doing all the things, you know, like fawning over you and actually, you know, chasing you like you're the best thing in life. It's having you kind of emotionally wonder if you were all these great things that they're not telling you that they think you are. So it could be that because your crush is really focusing on their sense of security, you're picking up on it and you are emotionally, it's kind of, you know, maybe you are connecting with your crush on that more like energetic level, intuitive level, feeling their vibrations, but it's giving you emotionally, it's having you question your security. So let's see how your crush is affecting you in terms of how you're thinking. Confusion. So how your crush is with you, you're confused, but kind of so are they. Maybe you feel a vibe between you and you see them kind of pulling away. You're not understanding why. So maybe because their focus in life is on the mysteries, on the things that are unspoken, unseen by the masses. So let's take a look at physically how you're affected. You have this sense of maturity. So in terms of your crush affecting you physically, it could be that you are more accepting yourself, accepting how you look. It maybe, you know, this confusion is like, well, you know, so and so says I look great. This person is interested in me. I'm feeling, you know, good about myself before I see my crush. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm going to love me regardless. So it's you're trying to it's like you're keeping up, like making sure that you are um, kind of in good health, doing the things that make you feel good, but not necessarily trying to um, um, I don't know why I'm thinking of like that Cinderella shoe. It's not like you're trying to fit into a certain look or a certain um, way of being perceived. It's a sense of it's more making you confident in how you're treating your body, how you are um, kind of going about your your health and your lifestyle, because you can't really get a sense of what's going on with them. So you just have to be confident in the things that you do know. So that's kind of what I'm getting there. And I'm going to close off here group number 3 with an oracle card, couple oracle cards from your guides and guardians about what to be mindful of. You have Panther Spirit, reclaim your power. So here, don't let anyone else's insecurities or whatever their life path is, don't let that interfere with yours. You're definitely, reclaim your power, reclaim your security, reclaim your confidence in what you know to be true. And then you have Lizard Spirit, dream the world into being. So here, maybe whatever ideal world your crush wants to see themselves in, you can meet each other in the dream world, but it really kind of just is, again, to focus on your path, to focus on what it is that you want, um, your truth, and not necessarily the truth of someone else that you might have some feelings for. Anyway, I'm hoping this provides a helpful perspective of the thoughts your crush has about you, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 4, those who pick Cosmobeings Tarot deck to reveal the thoughts that your crush has about you that they're kicking around in their mind. So I'm going to start off with an energy check-in of your crush to get a sense of their overall vibe, their personality, and their current views on life, so that you can figure out if this is the right pile for the reading on your crush, if you need another pile, or if you need a different pile altogether. So group number 4, in terms of the energy vibe of your crush, you have this movement card. So your crush is someone who takes action, is really kind of set some goals in life and feels that they are advancing towards those. So in terms of their personality, determination. So they might have set some really hefty goals that they are focusing on, that they are working really hard for and dedicated to. There's someone who is dependable and reliable, someone who kind of takes into consideration a lot of different perspectives. And in terms of their outlook on life right now, there's sadness. So maybe there is some type of obstacle in their way, some type of, relationship that didn't work out. But that's just their current outlook. But overall, they are typically someone who, if they are sad, then they'll probably be determined to get over that sadness and to move past that. But because they look at the different perspectives of things, right now they're probably looking at why there's that sadness and kind of reflecting on it so that they can, in a healthy way, move on and grow and learn from those experiences. So, group number 4, let's take a look at what your crush thinks of you. Let's see overall, what is their impression? 2 of Wands. So your crush thinks of you as someone who is kind of made some accomplishments and can really go far if you get outside of your comfort zone. So they're pretty much, they're really determined. They're really focused. They feel like you could, if you apply those same, I don't want to call them skills, and they're not rules. Same structure, then you could really accomplish a lot. So here, let's take a look at what your crush thinks of your personality. 7 of Cups. So they think that you're someone who is kind of able to, it's almost like a chameleon, someone who is able to be whatever they need to be, however they need to be, in front of the right people. So if certain people are really high energy, you're able to be high energy. If you're around a group of people who are kind of more reserved, more quiet, don't like to be out in the crowd, then you'll be a wallflower with them and kind of like speak to them in hushed voices. Kind of, you're able to match the tone of whoever you're around. And to some degree, they see that as, a benefit, and why they see you could really go far in life if you wanted to kind of move outside of what you know. So let's see what they think of your looks, group number 4. Have the Judgment card here. So they are still kind of out for that. In terms of how you look, it's almost like they have to recognize that objectively you're attractive. How they feel about it, they still haven't worked through that. Maybe because, to some degree, maybe there's more of a, they feel like an older, younger sibling thing going on, or maybe they're still caught up on someone else. So let's take a look at their sexual attraction for you. Group number 4, Chariot. So they, in terms of the chemistry, it's there. They would go for it. They would make that happen if they got the green light. But it might be something they wouldn't want to necessarily have asked of them right this second. But let's see about relationship potential. 6 of Swords. So really, they might see that you are in a transition period as well. Like, I do get the sense that they are kind of pulling away from romance because it's relationship to the sadness. But because overall they think of you as someone who could really go far, it's a sense of the relationship potential is kind of like that's in transition as well. because there's too many moving pieces for you and for them. So let's see what your crush tells other people about you or your connection. 3 of Cups. So group number 4, your crush tells people that you are, you're a great person. They like you. You're great friends, or they want to be great friends, or they know you from their friends. Like you're a good person to hang around with. Let's take a look about if there's someone or something else on their mind. Have the Fool. And let's see what else got here. The King of Cups. So group number 4, your crush is someone who is probably like not a hopeless romantic. They are very determined and focused, goal-oriented romantic. And right now they're really preoccupied about getting over this sadness and moving on so they can really accomplish their goals and be, it's almost like they want to achieve their goals in order for them to be the best partner they can be, to be romantic, to be emotionally sturdy, to be supportive and encouraging, without really without being sucked in by other people's problems or drama or misadventures in life. So here it's a sense of getting over that sadness, getting back on target. So let's see here. Let's find out right now how much your crush is willing to prioritize a romantic relationship. You have the 9 of Cups. So really they need to feel happy. They need to, that's their first goal. But right now their outlook is sadness. So they really need to get back to a place of being happy, confident in themselves, before they can start prioritizing a romantic relationship with someone else. So let's see what possibility there is in the next 3 months for romance to blossom between you two. Have the 5 of Swords. So here, if it were to occur, if somehow that were to take place, it would be a false sense of victory. Or to believe it could occur, it's a false sense of victory. And it could be because they're still getting over the sadness, or that they think that you're still in that transition period, figuring yourself out, and where the direction you want to go. But I would say probably not in the next 3 months. So I'm going to pull a card here. I haven't done this for anyone else, but what about in the next 6 months for romance to blossom between you two? You have 7 of Wands. So it's a little bit better than the 5 of Swords, but they're still like, they're still focusing on their self-preservation. So let's go into how your crush would feel if they thought you liked someone else instead of them. Queen of Cups. So they would be happy for you. They'd be supportive of you. They would pretty much feel that whoever you liked instead of them was getting a great person, was going to have a great, wonderful relationship with you. So it's very nice of them. So let's get into some cards here about how this crush is affecting you. Come on, come on, come on. Affecting you, group number 4. Let's see how they're affecting you emotionally. Hope. So here, however you've been interacting with your crush, they've left you with some sense of hope that things will kind of blossom between you two. And let's see what it's doing to your mind. You have this regret. So perhaps there are things that you are reflecting on, things that you've said or didn't say, and having a sense of wishing you could take it back when it comes to your crush. Or maybe things you've said to other people about your crush. So let's see how your crush is affecting you physically. You have this patience card here. So in terms of your physical being, it could be that you are kind of maybe sitting around like, nah, that person's not going to be there. What's the point of going? And really kind of letting, it's like a sense of you're letting time slip away from you. And here, that could be kind of, to some degree, this concept of you needing to get out of your comfort zone. You kind of need to move, like physically need to move. So perhaps here there is, if your crush saw you actually physically moving towards something that was your goal, then you'd kind of be out of that, possibly moving and then, the potential of getting somewhere. So that's one way of looking at that. And group number 4, I'm going to close off this reading with some advice from your guides and guardians about what to be mindful about. Pig Spirit, use your mind wisely. So here, like I said, your crush feels that you have this ability to really kind of be whatever, whoever you need to be for that certain situation. And that if you kind of utilize that, you could go really far. So that's something to keep in your mind. And then you have Mouse Spirit, tend to the small things. So here, just to make sure that you are kind of stopping to smell the roses, to really appreciate what's around you, and not really just kind of wait on someone else, or to even focus too much on one person, but to kind of see a bunch of other things going on around you. So group number 4, I'm hoping this provides a helpful perspective of how your crush thinks of you, and we'll see you next time. Take care.